In this video, I'm revealing 3 hacks, best practices as a DoorDash dasher on how to get the very best shifts when driving. I appreciate you being here. My name is Mike. I'm coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm excited to share these tips with you because I am visiting here in Pittsburgh for a couple of weeks. I actually am originally from Pittsburgh and moved to San Diego about 3 years ago. And it doesn't matter if you're new, it doesn't matter if you've been driving a DoorDash for years, it doesn't matter what marketplace you drive in, these tips will help you out, help you make more money, and save time when on the road. So if you're here live, let me know, post down in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching this on the replay, where you're watching from. So let's just jump right into it. I appreciate you being here. And today, again, we're talking about how to get the very best shifts when driving on a DoorDash. Now, it's important for you to know this. If you're driving on DoorDash, you need to know all of your options that are available because, frankly, this is your money. This is your side hustle. And if you're new or if you're just getting into this, you need to know, you must know how to best optimize both of these practices here. But hey, if this is the first time that you and I are meeting, again, my name is Mike, and I started into this gig economy right here in Pittsburgh in 2015 with rideshare platforms like Uber, initially in October of 2015. Actually, it's my 5-year anniversary here. We're in October. I started Halloween weekend, October of 2015, shortly added the Lyft platform, and really just went from there because maybe like you, and let me know if you feel the same way, I found myself sitting around here a lot of weekends not doing anything, certainly not making any money and really not taking advantage of my full potential. I was working the 9 to 5. Currently I do this full time. Let me know if you're working the 9 to 5. And a lot of us were looking to take charge of our income. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take charge of my income, and I said, hey, the 9 to 5 is fine, but I feel like I can do more with my free time. So I've been in this space since 2015, and I appreciate you being here, and I want to carry on these tips to you. So I want to ask you a question, but first, hey, Alexander, I see you in here. Corey, JG, Christine, one of our clients on yourdrivermike.com. Thanks for being here, guys, for being here. Alexander from Toronto, California. Corey from Baltimore, guys. I want to ask you a question. Answer this question right now. How often do you schedule shifts on a DoorDash? If you didn't know, we're going to go over 2 options today as far as how to get online with the DoorDash platform. But one of them, as you can see here, it's scheduling your shift ahead of time. So how often do you go into that scheduling feature and actually schedule a shift? Well, today we're talking about hacking your scheduling options. Like I mentioned, scheduling is just one option. How can we hack these options to make the most money and capitalize on potentially elusive peak pay, which is, of course, the bonus pay on DoorDash? So if you didn't know, if you're new to DoorDash, just so you know, there are 2 options, like I mentioned, when driving on DoorDash. Number 1, of course, it is scheduling. You can see there on the left. And number 2, it is the Dash Now feature. Now, these hacks are for both methods here, but I want you to see this. So how often do you schedule? Let me know. Christine says not often. And if you don't schedule, chances are you use the option on the right. That is the Dash Now feature. That means I want to dash, I want to drive right now. Now, whenever we get into this, whenever we're kind of considering, okay, how can I make the most money? Well, today we're talking about scheduling shifts. Well, I gotta ask you, you can schedule shifts, you can dash now, either or, but let me ask you, what are the best shifts? What should you even consider? If you don't know what a best shift is, then why would you schedule shift A versus shift B? You don't know. You're kind of out there in the dark. I'm going to reveal that and go over these criteria for you. Number 1, obviously, what's the highest paying? Obviously, Mike, I know that. Yes, I want to make the most money possible. But what shifts are the highest paying? Because the same times, in the same marketplace, on different days, on the same or different bonuses, they all vary wildly. Number 2, please consider this, especially if you're new. What shifts have the lowest expenses? Uh, I don't know. You got to answer these questions. If I asked you, okay, the 12 to 4 p.m. shift. Right now I'm in Pittsburgh again. I'm visiting, so I'm here in downtown Pittsburgh. DoorDash deems this area downtown, right? It's a little bit more than downtown. If I schedule here versus if I schedule east in Monroeville, those different marketplaces have different expenses because obviously they're different marketplaces, but there's different performances. Those marketplaces perform differently. Have you thought about this one? Because you're gonna after a while. And it took me months to realize this. You forget about this. You only think about the highest paying. And then hopefully, if you're smart, you think about the least expenses. But what about the least frustrating? Hats off to you if you drive downtown, because in my opinion, driving downtown, back in San Diego especially, it's pretty frustrating. So why wouldn't you schedule the best shift with the most money, the lowest expenses, but also the least headaches? I don't want you to have a headache when you're out there. Well, how about this one? The best shifts are the most predictable. Think about that. The best shifts are the most predictable. What do I mean by that? If I schedule on Tuesday from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. here in Pittsburgh or back in San Diego, I want to know, and you should want to know, that you're not going to waste your time, right? You want to have a predictable success rate. You don't want to schedule a shift and have it be a crapshoot. Am I going to make $15 an hour or $25 an hour? Going along with that, it's predictable and consistent. So again, the best shifts, guys, they're not just the ones with the highest peak pay. That's an easy thing to schedule, right? I see $4 peak pay. Or actually, let me know in the live chat right now or in the comment section, what is the highest peak pay that you see in your market? Let me know right now. I'm watching the live chat, or again in the comment section, what is even the highest peak pay that you see in your market? And let me know actually the marketplace as well. But you don't just fire at the $4 peak pay. You want it to be a consistent shift on that peak pay. Well, what about this? Having said all of that, what about the clientele? Now, this is actually a great example coming back to San Diego, right? Where I am now driving in. I've been driving there for years in San Diego. The clientele kind of varies wildly based on where we're at in San Diego. I may see different tips from customers that vary wildly from La Jolla to down south in Pacific Beach. Or if I go down to downtown, or even more south, down to San Ysidro, National City. And it's not just let's not just blame the clientele. It also has to deal with what restaurants are there. If I'm parking next to super fancy, nice restaurants in La Jolla, then maybe we'll have a, let's say, $120 to $150 total versus, come on, if I'm parked next to a Wendy's with a $15 total, if a lot of us are tipping 10 to 20%, it stands to reason, right? 10 to 15% of 150 versus 15. Hey, Beach, I see you in here, guys. I appreciate you being here. If you're getting value in this live stream, can you drop me a like? It really helps us out, gets us more eyes on the channel here, and boosts us in YouTube's algorithm. So, what is important to know whenever we're scheduling these shifts? Number one, early access scheduling. So whenever we're scheduling these shifts, do you qualify for early access scheduling? And I want to show you here quickly what it takes to have early access scheduling. And you may be surprised, it's actually not that much. So let's look at this page from DoorDash detailing early access scheduling. And frankly, everyone should have early access scheduling. And let me know if you have this actually. Most all of you should have this. So I want to skip down right here. How do you qualify? Can I zoom in? I can zoom in. I'll help you out. How do you qualify for early access? Number one, You have a customer rating of at least 4.6. That should be easy. If you don't have a 4.6, you're doing something wrong. Subscribe, watch the videos here to boost that rating. Number 2, a completion rate of at least 95%. That should be easy again. There should be no reason why you have less than a 95% completion rate. If you're doing less than that, you're canceling too many trips. And next, you've completed at least 5 deliveries in the last week. That's what it says. Number 2, you can qualify for early access if you have, again, a rating of 4.6, a completion rate of 95%, and have completed at least 500 lifetime deliveries. So as long as you're doing 5 deliveries in the last week, or you've done a lifetime of 500, everyone should have lifetime access. That's a no-brainer, and I want you to realize that whenever you're scheduling your shifts. Number 2, top dasher. So if you're scheduling shifts, but you're a top dasher, well, your criteria may be different. What do I mean by that? And actually, let me know if you're a top dasher. In fact, I'll link a video up above after the live stream about our discussion on top dasher. Top dasher is not all bad. Although I think the knee-jerk reaction from a lot of us is it's kind of not worth it, right? If your market has consistent peak pay, like here in Pittsburgh, it's pretty predictable. In San Diego, the peak pay is pretty predictable. It's pretty consistent. It may be okay to be a top dasher. And again, we won't go into that too much, but make sure to watch that video after this if you want to see more about that. But if you're a top dasher, you can basically dash anywhere at any time. The third important thing I want you to know, hey, if you're new, did you know that you cannot use the Dash Now feature if you have a scheduled shift within 30 minutes. So we can see here an example. If it's busy at 4 p.m., but you're scheduled at 4:30, you can't dash now, which I thought is kind of a pain. Let me reiterate that. DoorDash will not let you use the Dash Now feature. That is a feature that lets you go online immediately, assuming it's busy enough. You can't do that if you have a shift scheduled in 30 minutes. It makes no sense to me. Why can't you just dash now for that 30 minutes and then it kind of rolls into your scheduled shift? You can't do that? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. But again, just so you know, you're going to have to wait. Now, here is a thing. It only delays you about 15 minutes. And why do I say that? Because DoorDash lets you go online 15 minutes before your shift starts. So that's not all bad. You can still use the Dash Now eventually, but you got to wait a little bit. Now, here's another very, very important one. This is different than other apps, so pay attention to this one. Lean in for this one. You can cancel, reschedule, or revise shifts without penalty. Again, you can cancel your shifts, you can reschedule your shifts, or you can just change the current shift without penalty from DoorDash. And I say that is different than other apps because Amazon Flex, let me just come in quick here, close to you. Amazon Flex, they will penalize you and eventually deactivate you if you cancel their shifts. Amazon Flex, again, it's the parcel delivery service. I've done that in San Diego. And if you schedule those shifts and you cancel too many of them, again, the hammer's coming down there. Not so with a DoorDash. That is one thing that I like because as an independent contractor, having the freedoms that we do in this gig economy, that's kind of how it should be, right? The more and more control, it kind of doesn't feel like we really have that freedom. So now it is time. Drop me a like if you're excited for these hacks. I have 3 hacks for you, best practices when it comes to scheduling. And I know at least one of these I've never mentioned before. Now this one is so powerful. I may have mentioned this once in passing. When you schedule your shifts, you're going to do what's called the schedule to extend. Hack number 1, schedule to extend. What does that mean? Well, here's an example, and it correlates with the screenshot to the right. So, it is currently 6:51 p.m. and DoorDash is offering a $3 peak pay until 9:30 p.m. Cool. You want to drive as much as possible, obviously, to get that bonus. But the DoorDash app only lets you schedule a shift until 8:30 p.m. What do? What would you do? So again, to reiterate, right now let's say it's 6:51 p.m. Let's pretend, and the $3.50 peak pay, it's pretty good. It goes until later tonight at 9:30 p.m. But we can see the screenshot here. It's telling us. It actually says we currently have openings between 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Now, if you'll notice the screenshots down there, if you can see it, it says today 9:30 p.m. When you're scheduling these shifts, if DoorDash has enough drivers, that time will be grayed out. And I don't know if you can see it, but that 9 is actually grayed out. Otherwise it would be black. So it's grayed out though, which means you cannot schedule until your desired time at 9 p.m. So what you're going to do is you're going to schedule to extend. You're going to grab the widest availability. You're going to schedule as late as you can. You're going to schedule until that 8:30 because that's what DoorDash is saying. So I want you to go ahead and grab the shift that's available, even if it's 30 minutes. Grab whatever you can, get that peak pay, and you're going to hope that more shifts become available. So you're going to schedule with the hopes that you can extend. So what happens whenever you're driving on DoorDash, two things will happen. You can manually go into your Dasher app as you're dashing, right? We've scheduled this shift. You can go in there and you can try to manually extend that dash. The screen will look similar to what you just saw, and it'll say 8:30 p.m. because that's the shift that was available. You couldn't schedule any later. But we're going to try to extend it later in that shift. We're going to take that button, this time button, and we're going to try to make it 9 p.m. We're going to try to make it 9:30 p.m., right? Extending our shifts. And sometimes it will let you do that. Why? Because other drivers have revised their shift or canceled their shift or demand has spiked. And previously, we could not schedule until 9:30 p.m. But since we're trying to extend, now we can. And guess what? If you never scheduled in the first place, if you didn't take the widest availability possible, you may wait too long. You may find that you may not even be able to schedule until 8:30 because this is a popular shift. So that's why my recommendation is you grab that shift as soon as it's available with the hopes to extend. Hey, drop me a like if you got value in that hack. And hey, you got to do some of the work on this. Okay? What that means is, well, Mike, if it's that busy, do I even want to grab that shift? Is it going to be I don't know. Is it going to be oversaturated? I'm doing as much as I can with my experience with 1,400 completed deliveries, driving in different marketplaces, but this is a team here. That's the whole premise of the channel. So you need to do some of the back end work as well. But drop me a like if you like the schedule to extend method. Now, number 2. We're rolling right into hack number 2 here. Again, I have 3 powerful hacks. If you're just watching in this video, we're going over how to get the very best shifts possible. And right now we're going over scheduling. So look at this screenshot right here. The blue dot, as you most likely know, that is our current location. This is the Pittsburgh marketplace. Hey guys, I see you in here. Louise, Lisa, thanks for being here. Daniel as well. And Girlheme, I'm butchering that name. I appreciate the kind words there. So what you're looking at is the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania marketplace, right? And the blue dot, I already said that. Why am I repeating myself? But the marketplace is gray. Now, if you're new, that means you cannot dash now. As we discussed, the Dash Now feature is the feature that lets you go online immediately. But I said you can only do that if it's busy enough. If it is not busy enough, or DoorDash has enough drivers, it'll look like this. There'll be a gray section you can see on the right screenshot. So, in this example, DoorDash is currently offering a $5 peak pay bonus in your current market segment, but you cannot go online with Dash Now because there's too many drivers, right? That's exactly what I just detailed. There's a $5 peak pay going on right now. I just opened the app. Oh yeah, it's a $5 peak pay tonight. And I jump on, I want to go online, but I can't. It's very simple. You're going to do exactly what the title describes. You're going to watch and you're going to wait. You're going to keep the app open, watch and wait for the Dash Now feature to reactivate. And then chances are that it will. Immediately click Dash Now to grab that bonus shift. And actually, I want you to go over to the community tab, but I'm going to show it to you now. I wasn't planning on doing this, so give me a second here. But it's so powerful, I want you to see this actually live. So let's pull up the community tab here. We're taking a detour on our live stream tonight. I need you to see this here, to actually visualize what I'm talking about. But as I'm doing this, make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, so you can see these things if you happen to miss it, because I'm not always gonna do this. So here's the community tab over on our channel. Again, make sure to subscribe, join the team here, so you can see these community tab postings. But this is what it's going to look like, right? It's gray, and then you wait eventually, and then it turns red, and you can see the Dash Now feature becomes available. So that's what we're looking for. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. So that's the watch and wait method. And you may be thinking, well, how long do I have to wait? Is that really worth it? It is. It is very worth it. And I say that because I have used the watch and wait method so many times. It could be that for whatever reason, I didn't schedule a shift. I don't know, I couldn't schedule a shift or something, or I just want to dash right now. In fact, if you want to dash right now, this is better than scheduling, because scheduling, you cannot see this. All you see is the schedule screen. So if you want to drive right now, I want to take advantage of that $5 peak pay right now, because I mean, hey, I don't know, I got like an hour. I got an hour and a half. I want to start making money now. Do the watch and wait. Keep the app open. And here's something else you're going to do, is I want you to keep that phone in your hand and keep those thumbs ready to hit Dash Now. Because if it's a very good peak pay, or I don't know, other drivers are doing this, that Dash Now can almost be instant. I've seen that kind of with Amazon Flex too. It's a similar thing, but you know, once that Dash Now becomes available, you hit that Dash Now and you go online and start taking advantage of it. I mean, if anything, you could pause your dash, but make sure to take advantage of it. Do the watch and wait. Hey guys, if you appreciated that, slam the like button. Drop me a like if you appreciate these hacks, these tips, these best practices. Mindy, thanks for the kind words. Mindy says, you're the best. Brian, hey Mike, hey Brian. Thanks for being here, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you appreciate these live streams from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We got 41 people in here. That's pretty awesome, guys. Hack number 3. Trend analysis. Are you doing this? If you said, of course, you're not doing it. So let me explain a little bit about what this is. So trend analysis, yes, I know. Well, in fact, if you're new, you don't know. But if you've been here a while, you know this is something that I really believe in, because the numbers don't lie. I heavily leverage trend analysis to make the most money. Because like I said at the beginning of this stream, the same bonus does not mean the same performance. Again, I could give you a $4 peak pay bonus, but what about Monday, Wednesday, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., your current segment, the neighboring segment? They all perform wildly different. And you're not going to know unless you know. Have you thought about this one? And let me know actually in the live chat or the rebroadcast if you've been hit by this one. Watch for bonuses during rush hour. Because, I mean, obviously, traffic. Now, I know our current landscape is certainly a very new landscape, but, you know, before this whole pandemic, I would take peak pay during the heat of rush hour. And just so you know, typically you can complete about 2 to 3 deliveries per hour. It varies by marketplace. If you're driving downtown, maybe you can squeeze in more, but generally 2 to 3 orders per hour. Well, if you're scheduling shifts on rush hour, that may be more like 1.5 deliveries. Because, well, at least in San Diego. I mean, San Diego, LA, I feel you guys if you're up in LA. But if you're in a marketplace that does get slammed with, I mean, even here in Pittsburgh, I mean, our main arteries are 2 lanes in and out of Pittsburgh, which is unheard of in San Diego. But watch out for those bonuses during rush hour unless you know some good hacks and some back roads. What about this one? This is so powerful. These are all things that I wish I knew. This is massive. Oh, it pains me thinking about it. Watch out for bonuses during seemingly odd times. So if you're like, oh, there's a $4 peak pay. Yes, it's from, I don't know, 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. I'm grabbing it. Nice. It may be nice for your marketplace. Again, this is a team effort here. I need you to do some research. But if it's that in-between time, is it the best for your earnings per hour? Or is it best for you to drive in the morning, 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., take a break during that pocket, and then drive again from 4 p.m. or whatever it is until 8 p.m. Or, if you have a 9 to 5, you have to, let's think about the weekends, right? Maybe you do the 9 to 5, and we're talking about weekend driving. It doesn't matter. But if you see bonuses during odd times, I would just watch that. Doesn't mean I wouldn't sign up for it. No, I'd still sign up for it, but it's up to you to eventually take a few shifts on that odd time and see if it's worth it. Now, I will say that in my opinion, DoorDash, I mean, we're talking about DoorDash solely here. Stay tuned for more on Postmates, Uber Eats, and all those other apps, of course. But on DoorDash, I feel like they do a good job of providing predictable and on-peak hours when it comes to peak pay. So generally, they're not throwing out peak pay unless they really need to. But the argument has been, well, if there is peak pay at odd hours, are they doing that just to fill those odd hours? Or are they doing it because there's truly a demand and a good amount of orders? Food for thought. Mr. W, I appreciate the tips, Mike. Appreciate the comments. Corey, thanks for being here, guys. Rachel, thanks for being here. Rachel says, no good back roads in Pittsburgh, not unless you want to drive on some cobblestone. Shout out to everyone here in Pittsburgh. I'm here for another couple of weeks, and then it's back to sunny San Diego. I'm going to hit you with this. DoorDash may not be the best app for your market. I've said it before, I do not try to fit an Uber Eats app into a DoorDash market or a Postmates app into an Uber Eats market. DoorDash, it's the #1 food delivery app if you didn't know. It is DoorDash. I was initially surprised when I found that out. I thought it was Uber Eats because Uber seems to dominate everything. No, it's DoorDash. But just because DoorDash is #1 nationally, at least here in the US, doesn't mean that it's a sure thing for your market. And I've had you reach out to me that says, hey, I don't drive for DoorDash. It sucks in my marketplace. So you won't know that, again, unless you get the reps in. You need to schedule at different times. You need to schedule in different marketplaces if your marketplace is big enough. Here in Pittsburgh, the majority of downtown is one segment, but in San Diego, I've driven all over San Diego, trying different marketplaces on different peak pay bonuses, and again, on different hours. So you need to try all of that. Because you may be driving this whole time and not realize you're leaving money on the table. You may be saying, oh, I'm doing great on Uber Eats. I'm making like $17, $18 an hour, and I'm happy for you. That's not bad, right? But you may be able to make $21 to $23 an hour on DoorDash. So the overall verdict here, as we kind of land the plane and bring it home here, I want you to share this stream with someone who's considering driving. If you know someone that's thinking about this whole thing, There are affiliate links down below in the description. Again, those are affiliate links if you do want to sign up for any of these platforms. But I just want to kind of summarize here and again, bring it home for us and give you my verdict and just talk about what I do. Scheduling versus Dash Now. So here's what I do. I use the scheduling feature if I want to capitalize and secure peak pay. So again, if you have early access scheduling, you'll be able to see this schedule 6 days in advance. Now, DoorDash, they do release promo pricing a little bit less than that. I don't believe you can see 6 days out of promo pricing. Typically, they'll show about 3 days out of peak pay. But whenever they release that peak pay, if based on all of my market knowledge, if I see Mission Valley in San Diego has a $4 peak pay, which is strong for Friday, and it's Thursday, whatever, if it's Wednesday, and I see it from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m., I would grab it, and I would advise that you grab it as well, because here's what happens. If you don't grab that shift, if I want to drive as much as I can on that peak pay, so I'm like 8:30. So I'm grabbing the majority of that peak pay. So I know, guaranteed this shift, which I'm an expert in that marketplace, and I know those hours are pretty good, I've guaranteed peak pay for 4 hours or whatever it is, right? If you wait to schedule that shift, let's say late Thursday or maybe Friday morning, what you may find is other drivers, they're going to constantly fill those shifts. So the longer you wait, the shorter and shorter shifts may become available. So you initially wanted to grab that 4-hour shift, guaranteed peak pay. Well, if you wait, you may find that you're going to have to schedule to extend, like we talked about, because 4 hours are no longer available. They only have a 1 hour or 1 hour segment available. So that's how I schedule shifts, is to secure peak pay. And I mean, honestly, it's just to set up my weekend or whatever it is. So now I know exactly, okay, I'm driving from 4:30 until 8 or whenever it is. So then I can plan around that, of course. Which is another thing in and of itself. Planning ahead kind of sets yourself up for success. There we go. Because now you have a plan versus not having a plan. Okay, number 2, Dash Now. I use Dash Now when it's either spur of the moment, if I forgot about peak pay, again, if I have some time, if I'm done running errands and I have some time to kill, that's when I'll use Dash Now, especially if there's peak pay that I just want to grab immediately, right? Like we saw in the example of the watch and wait. It's obviously the fastest way to jump online and start making money. So that's when I Dash Now. Other than that, I typically try to use a scheduling feature. So, having said that, let's jump over to the comments here as we bring it on home. If you're getting value in this live stream, well, if you got value, since we're obviously landing the plane here, can you drop a like on this live stream and consider sharing it with someone as well. Michael, thanks for being here. Mindy as well. Rachel commenting, a bit east of Pittsburgh, the same rules apply. They really do. It doesn't matter what marketplace you're driving in. These rules absolutely apply. These best practices and these hacks definitely apply to you, and they absolutely will work. They'll help you make more money. So I appreciate you being here, guys. Drop a like on your way out. Consider sharing this as well. And hey, if you're in this gig economy, I'm going to set you up with this. Make sure to have the very best accessories for any niche in this gig economy that'll actually save you a lot of headaches and time. So visit my Amazon storefront. That's linked down below. And Black Friday's coming up. I'm sure we're going to have some crazy Black Friday sales on those accessories as well. So make sure to subscribe here so you can take advantage of some of those Black Friday sales coming up here. Appreciate you watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.